Short story 131, The Case of the Missing Biscuits. Bernard the hamster was a creature of habit. Every morning at precisely 7 a.m, he'd wake up in his cosy cage, stretch his tiny whiskers, and do a quick yoga routine. Hamsters are very flexible, you see. Then, the most important part of his day, breakfast. Bernard adored his morning biscuits. They were round, crunchy, and smelled like sunshine. But this morning, something was terribly wrong. His breakfast bowl was bare. Not a single delicious crumb remained. Bernard squeaked in alarm. "Where are my biscuits?" He squeaked again, louder this time. Maybe Emily, the kind little girl who looked after him, had forgotten. He climbed onto his exercise wheel and started running, the fastest he ever had. His tiny legs whirred like a miniature engine. He scurried past his water bottle, still full, thankfully, his soft bedding, no biscuits there either, and finally reached the edge of his cage. He peered over, his heart thumping like a drum solo. Emily was there, as usual, humming a happy tune while cleaning her room. But in her hand, instead of his precious biscuit bag, she held a banana. Bernard gasped. A banana? Who in their right mind preferred mushy yellow fruit over perfectly good biscuits? He squeaked in protest, waving his tiny paws in the air. Emily, thankfully, noticed him. "Oh, Bernard, good morning, sleepyhead," she said, her voice bubbly and cheerful. "Did you sleep well?" Bernard, of course, could not answer, but he puffed out his cheeks and crossed his little paws, a clear sign of hamster disapproval. Emily giggled. "No biscuits today, I'm afraid," she explained. "The shop was out. But I got you a yummy banana instead." Bernard stared at the banana. It sat there, all innocent looking, with its brown speckled peel. It did not smell like sunshine. It did not look crunchy. It simply did not inspire the same level of excitement as a biscuit. Determined, Bernard decided to take matters into his own tiny paws. He needed a plan. First, he needed to get Emily's attention. He started with his most adorable squeak, the one that usually melted her heart. Emily looked up, a smile on her face. "Is that all you can manage for breakfast, Bernard? A little squeak?" Bernard, ever resourceful, tried a different tactic. He stood on his hind legs, stretched his arms high, and did a series of impressive yoga poses. Surely such acrobatics would earn him a reward. Emily clapped her hands. "Wow, Bernard, you're getting so good at yoga, but aren't you hungry?" Frustration gnawed at Bernard. Nothing was working. He needed a more dramatic approach. With a deep breath, he fainted. He flopped dramatically onto his back, legs spread wide, eyes squeezed shut. This was his ultimate trick, the dead hamster act. It usually worked wonders when his water bottle ran dry. Silence. Then Emily gasped. "Bernard, oh no, what happened?" She rushed to his cage, her voice laced with worry. Bernard peeked through one eye. This was working. Now was his chance. With a mighty leap, well, as mighty as a tiny hamster can leap, he scrambled up Emily's arm and made a dash for the banana. He reached it, grabbed a giant bite, and stuffed it into his cheek pouches. "Success!" He scurried back down Emily's arm, triumphant. Emily stared at him, open-mouthed. Then she burst out laughing. "Bernard, you little rascal, you weren't fainted at all, were you? You just wanted the banana." Bernard munched happily on his stolen banana, a mischievous glint in his tiny eye. Maybe a banana wasn't so bad after all, especially when obtained through such a clever heist. From that day on, Bernard learned a valuable lesson. Sometimes even the most unexpected things can be delicious. And, of course, the importance of never giving up on your breakfast, no matter how small you are. Vocabulary notes. Creature. A living thing. Example, Bernard the hamster is a creature. Habit. A regular way of behaving. Example, Bernard has a habit of waking up at 7 a.m. Precisely. Exactly. Example, Bernard wakes up at precisely 7 a.m. Whiskers. The long, stiff hairs on an animal's face. Example, Bernard stretches his tiny whiskers. Yoga. A form of exercise that involves stretching and breathing exercises. Example, Bernard does a quick yoga routine. Adore. To love something very much. Example, Bernard adores his morning biscuits. Crunchy. Making a satisfying crackling sound when you bite it. Example, Bernard's biscuits are round, crunchy, and smell like sunshine. Terrible. Very bad. Example, something was terribly wrong. Bernard's breakfast bowl was bare. Squeak. To make a high-pitched cry. Example, Bernard squeaked in alarm. Scurry. To move quickly with short steps. Example, Bernard scurried past his water bottle. Peer. To look closely at something. Example, Bernard peered over the edge of his cage. Thump. To beat strongly. Example, Bernard's heart thumped like a drum solo. Bubbly. Cheerful and lively. Example, Emily's voice was bubbly and cheerful. Unfortunately. Not in a good way. Example, no biscuits today, I'm afraid. Innocent looking. Looking like it hasn't done anything wrong. Example, the banana sat there all innocent looking. Speckled. Having small spots or marks on it. Example, the banana had brown speckled peel. Resourceful. Good at finding ways to solve problems. Example, Bernard, ever resourceful, tried a different tactic. Tactic. A way of doing something, especially to achieve a particular goal. Example, Bernard needed a new tactic to get his breakfast. Adorable. Very cute and lovable. Example, Bernard started with his most adorable squeak. Impressive. Making a strong positive feeling on someone. Example, Emily clapped her hands at Bernard's impressive yoga poses. Frustration. A feeling of annoyance caused by something that cannot be done. Frustration gnawed at Bernard. Dramatic. Intended to impress or have a strong effect. Example, Bernard needed a more dramatic approach. Faint. To lose consciousness for a short time. Example, Bernard fainted. Flopped. To fall down in a clumsy way. Example, Bernard flopped dramatically onto his back. Wonders. Amazing things. Example, it usually worked wonders when his water bottle ran dry. Glint. A small flash of light. Example, a mischievous glint in Bernard's tiny eye. Munched. To chew something noisily with your mouth closed. Example, Bernard munched happily on his stolen banana. Mischievous. Behaving in a playful way that is likely to cause trouble. Example, you little rascal, you weren't fainted at all. Triumphant. feeling or showing great happiness and pride after winning a victory. Bernard scurried back down Emily's arm, triumphant. Unexpected. Not expected or anticipated. Example, sometimes even the most unexpected things can be delicious. Story written by Google Bard AI. Image created by desgo.com AI. Please check out my new blog at www.steveuk.blog. Thank you. Hello, this is Steve. If you enjoyed the story, please would you take the time to leave a meaningful comment and click on the like icon. If you want to know when the next story has been uploaded, please click on the notify bell icon to be notified. If you haven't already, please subscribe to my channel and tell your English learning friends so they can benefit too. Thank you.